to another episode. So today I have with you Patricia Peters, and let me give you a little bit of background information on her. So Patricia Peters is a modern mystic shaman. She's a feminine leadership alchemist and board-certified psychotherapy practitioner. She has guided hundreds of women to unleash their full potential so that they can live 100% who they really are, making their dreams come true and adding fulfillment to their material success. Now, her vision, it's a world full of heart-centered feminine leaders, creating a world full of love and abundance for all beings. No surprise, I wanted her on the show. But today, we're going to talk about Huna Shamanism. Patricia, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Hello, Angie. Thank you so much for having me. I'm fine. Thank you.
No, that's sorry, your painting just caught my eye. I love it. I didn't see it right before.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's a painting my father did.
Oh, it's beautiful. So I'll tell you later about my stories with butterflies, but yeah, it just caught my eye. Total squirrel moment. So I always love to talk to my guests and ask them about their own spiritual journey before we begin the conversation. How was that for you? How did you even get involved in all this?
So my first encounter with spirituality as a grown-up was back in the late 80s. And that was when I was an athlete. And it was more from the practical side. So I basically was introduced to, let's say, methods, meditations and stuff like that, which was pretty weird in that time. Like people, they looked at you as, huh? So yeah, I was introduced to that and I tried it out and I was immediately fascinated by what I felt, what it made with my body, with my mind, with everything, with the results. So I went all in. And ever since then, I studied all kinds, not just studied, but also practiced all kinds of ancient wisdom traditions. Yeah, it became a huge part of my life. So it's not that I sit on a pillow for 8 hours a day and meditate. It's part of my day-to-day life. So whether it's in business, still in my sports, in my coaching, so it basically permeates my entire life. It's my passion.
I love it. And I love that you just said, and I love that you just said, I didn't just study it, I practiced it.
Yes. Yeah. Because just from studying, well, that's nice. Yes. You can listen to a nice song, but that doesn't mean that you can sing.
Right. No, and part of spirituality and the way that I see it is it's precisely that. We're all spiritual beings, whether we know it, we don't know it. We're all spiritual beings, and it's what you said. You noticed how it affected even your physical body, because as an athlete, you guys are more trained on the physical body, but understanding and seeing how this woo-woo spirituality meditation, especially for back in the day, how this actually helps that was a great achievement for whoever told you to actually practice that.
Yes, and so that was so my first kind of spiritual teacher, although he was in his beginnings and we were kind of his guinea pigs. Yeah. So I was a dancer and he was the older brother of my dancer. And I'm so grateful for what doors he had opened. And I'm totally convinced that practicing all the stuff and doing it and feeling it and living it. So I never got injured during my entire career, which was almost 40 years as a dancer. I mean, that's tough. And most of my colleagues, they have like back pains or whatever, you name it, the ankles, the knees, the hips, like everything. And I don't suffer from any long-term conditions and I never got seriously injured. And so I'm totally convinced that it was because of this mental, spiritual practice as well, and not just because of my physical training.
That in itself is amazing. And I've never been an athlete in any sense of the word at all. I love to run, and I'm like a recuperating runner because I'm starting it again. But my daughter was a gymnast, and she did get hurt. And
Yeah.
I would always tell her coaches and I became very good friends.
Yeah.
And when she went up for the state competition,
Mhm.
I would tell the coaches, do this or practice this or
Yes.
say this or try this.
Yes.
So I coached them to go to my daughter, because it's not that my daughter won't listen to me, but mom is mom, right? And she was
Sure.
13,
Yeah.
14.
That's,
It's like mom is
yep.
mom and her woo-woo
Yeah.
crap. But if she got it from the coach, and she
Yes.
actually made it to state
Mhm.
champion. So
Mhm. Yes.
it does
Yep.
work. It does work, and it
It
does heal the body.
definitely.
And there is
Definitely.
a science. There really is a science that I am so happy that nowadays, there's so much more science to prove all of this, because it
Yeah.
benefits us all.
Yes. Yes. And I always like to say that nowadays, modern science with all the fancy machines, they prove the stuff that people, shamans, healers, wise women knew from the beginning of time. So yeah. And
Yeah.
now they say fancy words like Latin words or old ancient Greek words, and then they have all those machines and complicated measures and you name it,
Right.
and theories, and yeah, you sit there, well, you could phrase it way more easy, and so that all people can understand it and integrate it and practice it.
Right. Right.
But I'm still grateful that, so because it takes kind of I mean, back then in the 80s, it was, people thought, well, you must be crazy, something like that. And luckily nowadays it's natural. So
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that. So let's talk about the shamans. So we're going to talk today about the Huna Shamanism. So tell us a little bit more about what that is.
Yeah. So yeah, what is Huna Shamanism? So let's first start what it's not. So it's not a religion, it's not a cult, and it's definitely not some new age stuff. Although lately a lot of nonsense gets published about Huna, especially when it comes to Ho'oponopono or Aloha, you maybe stumbled across that, but that's not Huna. So what Huna is, it's the ancient Hawaiian shamanism. You can also refer to it as the ancient, not just Hawaiian, but Polynesian philosophy. Some of the elders call it philosophy or worldview. Huna is based on love. What else can I say about Huna? It's all encompassing, so it touches all levels of being, like physical, emotional, thinking, spiritual, energetic, so everything. It's based on very, very simple principles and structures that are very easy to learn and to apply. And that's why it's, in my opinion, it's timeless, and you can use it for day-to-day life. You can use it for business, for everything, because you do not need anything unless you want to. Like, you don't need a drum, you don't need what you know from some other shamanism things like African or whatever. So you just need yourself, your minds, your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, and you can apply it everywhere, anywhere. And that's the cool thing about it.
Okay. So when you talk about it's based on like core basic principles, can you give us an example of one?
So in Huna, there are 7 basic principles, and they are very easy. And so I just give them to you, I would say. So it's the principle that the world is what you think it is, addresses beliefs, of course. The next one is there are no limits or boundaries other than the ones you set. So basically everything is intentional, everything is connected to each other. Energy flows where attention goes. I guess most people by now know this term, also in psychology and mindset coaching. It's very popular. Then the Aloha principle, to love is to be happy with. Then all power comes from within. And the last principle is effectiveness. Effectiveness is the measure of truth. So Huna is not built around certain methods. And that's the beauty. You can make up your own methods. What works is right. And that can be different all the time. So you can work, for example, with massages, like the Lomi Lomi massage that some of your audience might know. You can work with the mind, you can work with herbs, you can work with astrology, whatever. So Huna is totally open. And Huna is very, very self-empowering. So
Okay.
self-realization, self-empowering, and self-liberation, basically. And always to the greater good of all, because it's based on love.
Okay.
Mhm.
So pretty much all of the 7 basic principles, number 1 of all of them is everything is based on love. And I'm guessing with shamanism and with a lot of ancient mystical philosophies, because we consider them today as like rituals and ceremonies, but it was their way of being.
Yeah.
It's all connected and it's all love. And it's like respecting that and honoring that within everything, be it organic, mental, like the whole aspect.
Yes, yes. And you can bring in ritual if you want to, or if you need to. So some people, they need it, just for their subconscious mind, or because they are more playful, but you don't need it. And you can make up your own rituals as long as they work. And this is, for some people, this is a little hard to wrap their brain around it, because very often we are used to, you have to do it like this, or there are 3 steps, or yes, there are certain techniques in Huna as well, where it's better that you follow some directions, but they are usually very easy and uncomplicated.
Okay. So is it fair to say, because I keep thinking of like its intention, is it fair to say that as long as you have the intention, it's gonna work? I mean, that's why we don't actually need a ritual. We need we think we need a ritual because we've been taught in a linear way of thinking that if you do this plus this plus this equals this. But if you put the intention, then that's the power behind it, right?
Right. And that, thank you for bringing that up. That would be my next point. Intention. Yes, the intention you put in determines the outcome. And that's why you can't manipulate, because if you go in with a manipulative intention, it just bounces back to you. So that's it.
Okay, so now I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Okay.
Sometimes it can come in with a clear intention of what we want.
Yeah.
But it doesn't manifest the way we wanted it to manifest.
Yes.
And in between the moment we did the intention and the actual outcome, whatever that was, there was doubt, belief, lack of faith, blah, blah, blah. So how, let's say from the Huna Shamanism perspective, how do we place that invitation and follow what guidance to not like the mental beliefs and the limiting structures that we put on earth? How do we go about getting from here to here under those principles?
So first off, you set the intention, as you said. Then the next very important thing is the focus. You have to be able to keep the focus clear. And focus, that's usually where you need your active mind, or you can also say your logical mind for, to keep your thoughts focused on the desired outcomes. So that's one. Intention and consistent focus. Of course, you get that by practice. So there's no magic wand, although a lot of people hope for it. But if you don't practice, and then, the core beliefs or the sabotaging beliefs. I mean, we all have them to some kind, and usually they are unconscious because they are hidden in the subconscious mind. You notice where they are or what they are. You notice from the outcome you get or the outcome you don't get. And in Huna, we have different techniques and methods to address those limiting beliefs or sabotaging beliefs, and to kind of either reprogram them or throw them out, or simply as in television, where you can just switch a channel when you don't like what you see on one channel. You don't try to fix this channel, you just switch to another one. So we have different, very easy techniques in Huna to do this.
Okay. I wrote the switch the channel. I like that idea.
Yeah. Switch
I'm
the
thinking
channel.
because, okay, so in NLP, in neuro-linguistic programming,
Yeah.
one of the exercises is you minimize the screen and then you maximize the screen of what you want. You minimize it. That's actually switching the channel in a program way, right?
Yes.
Again, a curveball. There are some people that are able to do that actively. They can focus and they can do that and they're able to switch the channel.
Yeah.
There are other people, which I would say is the majority of the people, because that's what we're all learning, right? How to control our manifestations, how to actually be the creators of our own lives.
Yeah.
Many will have the intention to do that, yet they can't switch that channel because it'll come back in. Like that other self-limiting doubt signal is stronger until it isn't.
Yeah.
What is one technique?
That's just because this stronger negative beliefs has way more practice, because you've been practicing it since childhood. And now you are here putting in the new belief that is just 5 minutes old. So of course the old one is stronger. So everyone basically can change it. And sometimes it just needs more practice. Ah, here you are again, false belief. Okay, here you are, I switch. And then, okay, here you are. Okay, I switch. Sometimes you have to push through. And a lot of people, they give up too early because they expect, oh, I did it once, I did it for a week. Yeah, just keep going, keep going. It gets easier and easier and easier. And the more practiced you are, the faster it gets.
And I love that because
this old belief, even if it's still there, but it does not bother you any longer. Think of a 5-year-old that throws a tantrum. Energy flows where attention goes. If you give it attention, it will go on and go on and go on. If you just let him cry and whatever, turn around, the kid will become quiet. And it's the same basically with the beliefs. And the thing is, because this is so simple, a lot of people don't believe in it. And because there are a lot of people out there who sell complicated stuff, and that's another reason why people don't believe it sometimes. And that's too bad.
Yeah. And that's exactly, and I love it because that's exactly what I was getting at. And the way you explained it is beautiful because let's say it's unconscious. We have that unconscious thought and it's what you just said. If you have this new belief, this new intention, this new desire, let's calling it a desire, this new thing you want to bring about. Yeah. You're competing with 40 something, 50, 60, however old you are, X amount of years of thinking a very separate way. We can't expect it to change like magic in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
That's why I pause. I'm like, because it can, but it's until we get to that confidence and knowing that we can, where we doubt. And that's where it keeps falling and failing. And then we follow other people who complicate it, like you just said. And life is so simple.
Yeah, it's simple. And Huna is all about simplicity. And there is a saying in Huna, the way to not stop doubting is to stop doubting. So it's completely natural that doubts come up because very often they are a protection mechanism and sometimes they make sense and you should listen to it. And on your spiritual journey, you learn the difference between when to listen to them and when not to.
Right. Right.
So whenever doubt creeps in, okay, do the check. Is this good or not? If it's not good, okay, bye-bye doubt. Focus on the other thing. And there's the saying, the one who speaks last is the one who wins. So don't let your doubt be the last person to speak.
Oh, I love that.
Take control. Yeah. And we have this wonderful tool in Huna Shamanism to align, because It doesn't take time, it takes alignment. If you are not in alignment, you can practice 500 years and nothing will change. So we have this wonderful tool to align your subconscious mind, your logical mind, and your higher self.
Okay.
And in Huna, we call it the state of Kanaloa. That's a Hawaiian word. And the state of Kanaloa is the absence of doubt and fear. And isn't that the most wonderful state? The absence of doubt and fear.
And then you said it's through alignment.
Yep.
Okay. Could you share with us what that practice of being in alignment is?
The practice of being, and this is so simple. You can do it with your eyes closed or open. Most people find it easier to do it with eyes closed. First, you focus on your breath to calm down a little bit. Then you focus into your heart, and you simply imagine how your heart, your physical heart, smiles to you. And you smile back. And then you let this smile spread throughout your entire body. And you build up, oh, I can feel it. You build up the image that all your cells, your entire body, everything is smiling, your organs, everything smiles. And then you let it spread further into your aura, into the universe. And then you marinate in this wonderful state of your entire being is smiling. You can stay there as long as you want to.
Oh, we got to keep the show going, but yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
No,
and
I
see
can
how
definitely-
easy it is. How easy it is. You don't need anything. You can do it while you commute, when you sit in a train or bus or whatever. Just
Right.
close your eyes or with eyes open.
Right. And again, that goes back to the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
Back when I heard of meditation, it was you have to sit this way. And I know everything has kind of a why, but we
Yes.
don't need to follow it so on purpose, because everything is like you have to
Yeah.
sit this way and your back has to be perfect and you have to be this and you have to be that. And it's like so many rules to get there that you break one and you already think you're doing it wrong. And then you take yourself out of that. But with this, it's more of the reminder of this is as easy as it can be.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Yes. And yes, of course, sometimes you might need certain rules. Yes, sometimes they make sense. But I would say maybe 95% of times it's not necessary. It
Very
can
true.
be that easy.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you is aloha.
Yeah.
Now, what exactly does it really mean? Because my understanding before you and I talked the previous time, to me, aloha for many, always years, was hello and goodbye. But what is the actual definition of aloha?
Yeah. So it actually, yes, it's a greeting. It's basically hello and goodbye, but not on a superficial hello and goodbye level. Aloha is, you could say, in modern words, you could say aloha is the alignment and being in unison with love.
Okay.
No matter how your current situation is. No matter if you are in love with this person or not. So it's the transpersonal love, the higher love, basically. And it's also a blessing.
That's what I was thinking.
So the Hawaiians, the ancient Hawaiians, they love to bless people, nature, spirits, whatever, because what you bless and what you feel gratitude for grows, of course. So aloha is the state of living, being connected and being aligned with love. So it's more the unconditional love.
Yeah, and I'm I don't know why I have this picture of it now. I'm like picturing, so I'm half Colombian, half Puerto Rican. In Puerto Rico, the custom, to put it that way, when you greet somebody, you actually say bendición, which means it's a small, short way of saying, let me have your blessing or bless me.
Yeah.
And when you just said that, I'm like, it's very similar to that in the sense that I pictured elderly Hawaiian people, elderly, greeting others by giving them their blessing, by sharing the love, by being love. It's not just the word hello, it's a literal blessing.
Yes, it goes way deeper, than saying hello or goodbye. Yes. And because you mentioned Puerto Rico or other countries, what is very interesting that you can find similar things, beliefs or basics or traditions all over the world, and they are similar to some elements of Huna. So that's very interesting. So actually, no one actually knows 100% when Huna came up or how it came to this earth. So of course there are a lot of legends around that, but it's legends. It's no proof. So yeah, but it's very, very, very old.
Well, if we want to go sci-fi, there's a lot of legends about a lot of things that we're not sure of.
Yeah.
So let's compare, not compare, but the shamanism that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Versus the shamanism that I'm aware of, that I know in Native America here, and then South America. It is very ritualistic. And like you said, this one is more like philosophy. I'm going to put the word mindset. It's more like the new age kind of thinking that has come out. But then
kind of.
Huh?
What did you say? Sorry.
That it's kind of like the Huna, I see it more of like the mindset, new age way of you are your own power, you're in your own source, learn how to access it.
Yes.
Versus the shamanism that I've known in other places has been more with the same, but more with nature and asking nature for nature's support. And then the blessing back and forth. So that is very different.
Yes and no. You can also ask or communicate with nature with Huna. So that's the thing about Huna. Huna is basically limitless. You can use it for everything. You can talk to nature. You can channel the spirits of nature or of higher beings. That's what I meant in the beginning when I said Huna is kind of all encompassing. So there are no limits. That's one of the principles of Huna. There are no limits. Unless you have complete resistance against something, okay, but then that's your limit. But for another person, it might work that way. And that's the thing that confuses beginners in Huna sometimes, because we are so used to follow instructions. Of course, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with this kind of freedom.
Basically, because we were never allowed to have our full freedom and our full power.
Yeah, we are conditioned another way. Starting
to follow
in the family usually.
Completely. And the other thing that I'm thinking is, because I wrote them down, so the words, the power, the mental thoughts, that also has, I'm finding very much similarities with the Hermetic laws, like the Hermetic law of mentalism. And again, the more we all talk about this, and this is one of the reasons I created the talk show, we can all come from different ways of viewing things. And the farther back we go, the more powerful and the simpler the actual message is. Love unconditional, care for your energy, respect your thoughts. You are a powerful creator. Nothing can stop you but you. And yet so many years and centuries and thousands of years and and we've all gotten conditioned to believe that this is all magic and fake and not powerful.
That's because imagine a world full of totally sovereign beings and self-empowered, liberated people. And imagine what this would do for all the hierarchies, for all the people in power. And that's why, I mean, Huna was forbidden in the US. I'm not quite sure until the, don't nail me down on this. It was either until the 50s or even the 70s.
Wow.
High punishment, like jail and more. And
What
that's
reason
why
did they have behind it?
kahunas, so the kahunas are the traditional Huna shamans.
Okay.
You know, they didn't come out. They worked undercover because it was dangerous for them to speak up. So they passed on their knowledge, of course, secretly. And yeah, because it's so powerful. And of course, not everyone who practices Huna is a Huna shaman. Yes, there are shamans as well. So of course, as I say, shamanism not only is a training, shamanism always also is a way of living. You really have to commit to. And you have to be aware that when you walk this path, all your actions, all your thoughts, or all that you do not do comes back to you in one or the other way. So, and not everyone wants to commit to a path like that.
Because it is a lot of responsibility. And we've also been taught that if something happens, it's kind of easier to point the finger and blame something else.
Blame and shame.
Than to take responsibility for saying, it's not that I was right or wrong, but what did I do that created this outcome that I'm not, we don't want to take responsibility within ourselves. That is a lot more to deal.
What is my part? What was my resonance field inside of me? Yes.
Yeah, I love it. Now, I am definitely, after the show, going to look up when it was illegal, because it's funny because obviously I didn't know that, but I can totally see it. Because in my way of viewing things, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but in my way of viewing things, that is where all these secret mystery schools have always have to keep the secret knowledge hushed. Because other bigger forces, let's be honest, bigger guns will come and take them over. So all this information that we are resurrecting and that we are bringing back into light is information that's been, like I said a little while ago, from thousands and thousands of years ago.
From the beginning of time. I mean, you can find cave drawings from, I don't know, 40,000 years ago, and there already were shamans and healers and wise women and and you can also go back in history. So usually the ones who were persecuted were the ones who spoke the truth.
Right. And we've all bought into the story of history that was taught to us. But when we open our minds and actually start exploring different things, especially nowadays, we start exploring different things. Again, it comes to the intention. How much truth and power do you want to know and do you want to hold? Because with all this knowledge, it's what you said at the beginning, it's practice. Are we so used to being blindfolded to our own power? Or do we really take the step into that powerful being that we are and see what else is possible? Limitless.
And Huna is one way also to reconnect you to the realms of unlimited possibilities.
Okay, beautiful. And it's funny because there's so many people that hear those words, unlimited possibilities, but I don't think they actually can fathom. They don't actually even understand what that is.
Because because we are not used to it. Because everything we always been told, everything is limited. Water is limited, money is limited, energy is limited, whatever is. I mean, our life is limited. Yes, in this physical body, it's limited. But that's just one part of life. So,
and yet there's still
it's a paradigm shift.
It is. And then there's still things that even in our physical body, they're not limited. But we have made the belief that they are. For example, there's so much. Let's talk about water. in the ecosystem, it works the way that it works, blah, blah, blah. But are we actually ever limited at water? The entire world is what, 70% water? There's so much technology now that we can actually figure out good ways for the planet and for ourselves. Yet we're told, nope, there's no water. There's no water. We live on a blue planet. Like there's more water than land. Like, and we buy that story.
Yes.
Without question.
Yes.
And that's just one of them.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into the rest because my mind is like, and this one, and this one, and this.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yes. And yeah, the thing is, you know, the one who screams the loudest and has the most repetitions, and then people start to believe that. Take us for the truth.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hun, we are running out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today. How can people, what are you up to nowadays? How can people reach out to you?
So my website is www.evashift.com, and Eva is EVA because it stands for Energy Vibration Alignment. So evashift.com. And that's basically my work, to shift the energy, vibration, and alignment towards the wanted thing. And you can also download a freebie there, and that's www.evashift.com/freebie. And there I have a fun assessment for you to uncover your hidden superpower.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool indeed. Well, honey, thank you for your time. Thank you for the conversation. I will definitely be Googling the illegalness to it because now I'm just like, those people. But this has been great. So thank you so much, love.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, this conversation went by so fast, and yeah, we could spend another hours talking about the magic of Huna.
Yes, definitely we can. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.